thing. I've done the whole masculine thing.
It sucks that we are now at the point that we throw these things out, that a woman who's doing her thing is now somehow masculine. No.
That's not what we're saying at all. I don't want my wife to
Hold on. I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
Okay, wait.
Ooh, it didn't take long before it turned into a beef and an argument. Listen, hey, welcome to Little Black Book. My throat's gone, no. Let's not do that. Welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys, obviously, about Ready to Love, and we're dealing with specifically with Janelle and talking about Kat and their beef exclusively. This fight started beforehand, okay? It started beforehand. It started actually outside when Janelle and Kat had a little bit of a back and forth about Quentin. And she said, obviously, Quentin, are you open? Quentin said, and basically said that, he's spoken for by Janelle. Janelle came out, was being territorial. And Janelle has been obviously, a bit of a villain on this season in terms of her sharp behavior and the way she comes across with other people. So this was bound to happen eventually. Eventually, somebody was going to run into Janelle and be like, I'm not having it. We're not doing this. You go and hear what I've got to say. So I definitely understand where where Kat was coming from in terms of it's been coming. But I also understand this argument. There is some real tenets to this argument. I mean, alpha woman versus the feminine woman. Why is that conversation coming up? Well, because in all reality, the situation is presenting two types of women in this, and the argument becomes a juxtaposition of who's more right and who's wrong. And I think Janelle's coming from a position from where she's saying, I hold my own, I provide my own, I come to the table with what I've provided. Kat saying, listen, I could probably do that too, but the reality is I want to rest in being able to receive. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the femininity. I want to be able to rest in receiving. Are either of them wrong? Well, I think there's a bit of give and take on either side. I think most men would want to side with Kat in terms of her being in a feminine energy and be able to receive. And that we do see that oftentimes when it quote unquote comes to the alpha woman, really and truly, it's not really the alpha. Really and truly, it's just somebody who's hurt, who has learned how to be hyper independent and make sure they get their own. It's not always that it's somebody who's driven and ambitious and assertive because they're looking to achieve. A lot of times it's also because there's trauma there. There's been no protection provided, no emotional care, no presence, no love and appreciation for that child, and that child grows up to learn, I've only got me to back up, I've only got me to stand strong, I've only got me to hold it down. So therefore they become this particular person, and those traits that help them survive in their childhood also now become their personality. But we can talk about that in the rest of the video. Do me a massive favor before we start talking about this conversation: like, share, subscribe. Why haven't you liked this video? I don't know, but please do it. Share it as well with someone who likes to talk about Ready to Love, and subscribe to this channel. We're trying to get to 100K by the end of the year, and we will certainly do it by the grace of God. So please continue, as you guys have already been doing the last few months. Keep on subscribing, and we're gonna keep on growing. For those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. Stay up there or hot. Let's get into this conversation. Let's talk some real stuff and talk some real issues. Okay. Look, I think in this situation, both ladies are coming with valiant points, right? Janelle mentioned, why do we have to talk about a woman being masculine if she handles her own? And Kat saying, well, I've been there, done that. I want to be in my feminine. I think there are two different positions in life, right? And they're always going to be more women who handle their own business. And there'll always be women who are going to be able to say, I want to rest. That is what, I guess, quote unquote, the early feminism fought for. They fought for women to be able to say they want to be workers, but also at the same time that they could also choose to be a stay-at-home mom. It's like that's the fight in choice for feminism in some aspects, right? And that's me kind of really paraphrasing and summarizing in a very small nutshell. There's more to that. So this conversation between Janelle and Kat, which turns into an argument, the reason why it gets into an argument is because, one, there's history behind the people that are involved. Janelle's energy has been something that's been of contention within the course of the show throughout the last few weeks. So I understand why that Kat reacted. Well, Kat was like, "I've had enough," basically, and it's not the first time you've been territorial with Quentin. It's just all a build up from there. The reality was they were actually going to have a good conversation. There were several things that kind of happened that kind of took the conversation away, right? Let's just have a little listen to what I was talking about.
Is now somehow masculine. No.
That's not what we're saying at all. I don't want my words
I
to be
didn't.
construed.
Hold on.
Pause. When she said that's not what I'm trying to say at all, you know, I don't want to be my words to be misconstrued. Janelle could have just calmed it down and be like, you know, okay, what were you trying to say? Instead, she was like, hold on. She's ready to have a fight already. And usually people that are usually ready to fight, they've felt unprotected for a very long time. And their way of fighting back, the way of defending themselves is to fight forward. It's to go forward. It's to attack. It's to always be on the front foot. And so when I'm listening to Janelle and I'm like seeing that, you know, in that instant, Kat was like, hey, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say something different. I mean, I can understand why Janelle took it that way, because it did sound like you were making a juxtaposition to her point about, you know, bringing her own to the table. So I can understand why she reacted, but that extra reaction that she had told me that, you know what, you've been unprotected for a little while. That's why you're doing what you're doing.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
Okay, wait. You have the attitude a little bit, Janelle. Your attitude.
So and once. And so, you know, once Janelle replies in the way she does, then Kat says, "Well, you can turn down the energy at this point." And at that point, the argument's lost. It's done. The conversation is done. It's lost its essence, because now we're now discussing things that have nothing to do with the argument or the debate, right? And we're now discussing about tones. We're discussing about energy. We're talking about how someone's saying it. We're talking about someone's rudeness. It's now gone away from the actual argument, also away from the actual conversation. And so the politics have shifted into how I actually feel about you, right? It's no longer about the topic. It's now about how I feel about you. And this is actually how in couples too, this is how it happens, right? The argument is about a subject, but then someone remembers what happened last week. Then they add a bit more sauce into what they said. You hear how they said it. You didn't like how they said it. Then you react to what they said, and then now suddenly we're arguing about something, and it's actually away from the main source of the argument. It happens a lot. It happens a lot, right? It happens a lot.
All the attitude. Listen,
Relax,
hold on.
relax, chill.
Hold on, I got it. Sam,
Have a
I said
mature conversation
society.
and cut your attitude.
I am a very chill person, but I don't tolerate disrespect. And of course, Janelle.
Now, I would have expected for Quentin to be like, yo, babe, just chill. You got this, man. Like, turn it down. But Quentin couldn't do that because he ain't going to do that, right? But if my missus is out here and it's getting to a point where it's getting so heated, I'm like, babe, babe, look at me. Chill. You got this. You got this. Yeah, have a discussion, but babe, don't let her rile you up, man. I'd have been telling her straight, like, don't let her rile you up. Like, we're not going to get into that situation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be riled up here. There's no need in this aspect. I know they did try to calm Kat down too. Kat was ready to fight because at that point, Kat's had enough of the situation with Janelle. I'm not going to say either. I mean, we've been hearing about Janelle's behavior, but I'm going to say that obviously Kat was fed up of Janelle, and that's why she couldn't stop either. That's why she kept on saying what she was saying. You know, we can have a mature conversation. You have to be to. When you keep doing that too, the other person is reading it as arrogance and you being distasteful towards them, they ain't going to stop either. So even that then becomes an issue. Sometimes silence is golden. Sometimes silence is golden. Look at Quentin.
Janelle just had to go there.
You need to calm it
The
down and
attitude
learn
is
how to
going
have some
to be
respect when you're talking to
what
people.
the attitude is.
Your attitude
So
is
what I'm
nasty
saying
and makes you look
is-
very ugly. Let's get that straight.
Got it.
And I'm sick of it.
Next.
See, so now the argument is no longer about this great subject about femininity versus, you know, the alpha woman. It's now about, I don't like your attitude, pipe down, and the thing is lost. It's lost. Listen, Janelle robs people the wrong way. It's not the first time. It probably won't be the last time. Janelle has a bit more, I want to say it, a combative energy. And it comes out whenever I feel like she wants to either control the situation or she feels a bit of fear, or what she wants to get when she wants to get what she wants, because she realizes by showing people that combative energy, she can win. She can override you. Now, unfortunately, she met someone like Kat and not Lee, because Lee was quiet when that situation. I'm not saying that Janelle necessarily did anything, but you saw how Lee reacted. Yeah, Kat wasn't going to have it. Like, I'm going to let you know we ain't doing that round here. I ain't doing that with you. So fix up. What you want to do? Right? It's a shame, man. You know, such a shame. It could have been a great conversation too.
Snappiness that she's been having throughout this process, I'm over it.
She's just rude. That energy
Ooh, I think the sound's going.
comes with consequences.
Because when I say something, then it's too much.
No, you're
Now, she said, obviously, Kat said, obviously, about the fact that, you know, she's been having this bad energy throughout the course of the season. And then after this, when Janelle and Quentin are alone, Janelle actually says these raggedy B words. And you can see everybody in the room is a little bit uncomfortable. Morier gets up, you know, Sierra gets up as well. Well, Sierra feels some, like, you can see Sierra's like, oh. So you make people feel uncomfortable. Her energy is making people feel uncomfortable. Her energy is one that, you know, you're always on edge because you don't know if she's going to blow up or not, or whether she's going to go off on a tirade or go on a long rant. You don't know what you're going to get from Janelle, but you know you're going to get something emotionally emotionally reactive. And that makes other people feel like they can't be themselves around you, because at any moment, if they say something, do something, you're going to take it badly, and they're going to have to feel the brunt of your force, of your anger and your frustration. People like that, people have to walk on eggshells around them. That's what Quentin's doing. Quentin's walking on eggshells around her because of the fact that she, you know, the way she can relate and the way she can orate certain situations and the way she can be very firm in certain situations, right? There's an aggressiveness that comes in for Janelle. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. She's aggressive, and we have to talk about that. She is aggressive. There is no other word about it. If you go to someone's house, especially as we found out that she went to someone's house after, she's aggressive. And the reason why she went to Kat's house is because Kat stood up to her. Janelle needs to heal. She needs to heal on the bench. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments.